my Blazing Knights, it's me Blazeix, and welcome back to Blazeix Reacts. Today, we're going to be reacting to Ben 10, Big Chill's Homeworld, and beyond. Without further ado, let's get into the reaction. Want to go check out the Ink Tank's channel? The link will be down below. Want to go check out the original video itself? Above, I can go check it out. Let's jump right in. Without further ado, Blazeix Reacts, let's Blaze in action. No trolls there. Also, we really love that plushie.
This is Commander
Wish I had
Sierra
plushie this sooner.
from the Scudam Centaurus District. Commander Tennyson, do you copy?
What? Oh, hey. Sorry, dude. Signal's a bit fuzzy here.
Fuzzy? Where are you? We didn't receive your key code to enter our quadrant. I just thought I'd check in. You realize what today is, right?
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I'm still a few ways away over in the honor system. Thought it'd be a quick stop, but I found a deactivated Horus when I got here. Looked damaged, too.
Well then.
I think I need to stick around a bit longer. Really check things out.
Last time you were late, the fellas threw a fit. Flew up here and trashed the whole base camp. Ain't you got some type of teleported creature on that wrist of yours?
Look, I get it. They're my responsibility. I do want to be there, trust me. But if the scare's on the loose, he's my responsibility, too.
All
He
right.
kind of
Well,
is.
what do you want me to tell him?
Find the closest Horus and program him the coordinates. I'll send him something to give them through his teleporter chamber. Then, I'll be there as soon as I can. Sound good?
Hey, don't ask me how to raise your kids. I'm just the messenger.
His kids? I'm sorry, what?
Good evening, extranet and multidimensional travelers. Welcome back to And Beyond, where we plunge into the void and explore our ever-expanding multiverse. I am your host, the R300 Orion IT Systems Model TPV36, but you can call me Horus. Today we'll be visiting the polar planet of Kilness. Please keep all appendages inside the portal at all times, and please refrain from eating the green snow. You don't want to know what it's for.
Don't die? Whoa! And beyond. Yeah, I'm basically just jumping around when it comes to these.
Welcome to Kilness, the coldest planet of its system. On the surface, it appears to be nothing but a blizzard-swept, barren wasteland. Despite its chilling terrain, the planet's core is actually composed mainly of sulfurous magma. The heat given off from this core sits roughly around 14,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Frozen wasteland with the magma core.
Pockets below the frozen caps of the surface. In contrast, the surface temperature sits frigidly at negative 226 degrees Fahrenheit. Surprisingly, making Kilness the perfect home for its sulfur-based extremophile species. But it hadn't always been this way.
What?
According to fossil records and recovered ancient tech, hundreds of thousands of years ago there existed a species known as the Etterkennic. They were an industrial people that sought out the stars and strived to achieve interplanetary travel. Rather than building vessels
So
to
they were
travel
explorers,
off-world,
basically.
they attempted to make their world mobile, spending centuries creating devices known as world pilots. They essentially created dozens of massive artificial volcanoes that tapped into the planet's molten core in attempts to use them as rockets, propelling their planet across the universe. Sadly though, this failed quite horribly. Upon ignition, the combined temperature of each world pilot overheated the atmosphere, burning up its oxygen and killing most all surface life in minutes.
What?
With the engines left
They messed up this
unsupervised,
badly they didn't
gas
have a
melted
gunfire?
drowning the surface in molten metals as well as evaporating its oceans. Based on the composite records, we theorize that over the following 1,000 or so years, the extreme temperature increase worked its way through the planet, melting it down into one molten metal mass. And that shortly after, the atmosphere triggered an Ice Age level temperature shift in attempts to repair itself. Through this Ice Age, the ocean's vapor recondensed, cooling the planet's surface to a solid metal. This capping off the majority of the planet's heat leak. The outermost layers of the ocean were frozen into caps that still stand today. Though the only things surviving of the Etterkennic are their fossils, Kilness is still full of life.
Yeah, because Big Chill species are basically on there.
Welcome to the Phrygian Caps, home to the Necrophosians. Bipedal insectoid Geodomorpha, standing between 5 and 7 feet tall, with a wingspan
Honestly, one of the
of
coolest
13
alien
feet.
designs ever.
Accompanying
Literally.
the ability of flight, they possess psychrophilic glands throughout their bodies that secrete a mixture of liquid nitrogen and water. These glands do two things: regulate the temperature of the body and provide oxygen internally for the times where they are unable to breathe. Necrophrygians have an exothermic circulatory system, meaning they are cold-blooded, ironically, and lack the veins and arteries necessary to circulate their blood, regulating their body temperature. Because of this, they feed on metals and molten ores, using their glands to cool the metals to a safe, balanced temperature that is not too hot to cause them harm, but still hot enough to keep them warm for roughly 6 to 8 months. Through glandular control,
explains
they
why
can also
Big Chill
become
was eating it.
intangible, heating their bodies, turning them into a permeable state, similar to a sulfur gas. They use this ability to traverse terrains that by normal means would be untraversable. In this state, they are unable to breathe, so those psychrophilic glands come in real handy.
So
Since
it's
the chemical
not possible for
composition
them
of their
to stay in
bodies
that
is
state
such a
forever.
high freezing point, anything they come in contact with can be susceptible to freezing. The Necrophrygians are a very antisocial people living separate from each other.
Sounds like
They
Neo.
craft small pockets of molten metal acquired from the planet's core. These nests are carved into the caps and used to keep the Necrophrygian nice and warm while it rests. They make sure to build these nests far away from others, as to not be disturbed. Due to this independent style of living, Kilness lacks any form of society, making living here a survival of the fittest. Because of the harshities of the planet, many actually choose to venture out into space and establish new homes wherever they see fit. But, no matter where they travel, around the age of 80 Earth years, all Necrophrygians have a strong urge to return to the planet to reproduce. Necrophrygians are an asexual species reproducing through a form of cytokinesis after consuming roughly 4 times their body weight in metal. Traveling up to the surface, they'll build a hatching nest from regurgitated birthing bile.
Alright!
Return to their solitude, leaving the hatchlings to their own devices.
Oh, baby Big Chill. I remember that episode. I'll talk about it
Unlike the moment of
afterwards.
Hatching and not yet able to become intangible, the hatchlings venture to the system's sun to feed on solar plasma. The instinct to carry out this reproductive cycle is so strong that even Commander Ben Tennyson's Necrophrygian form, Big Chill, is no exception to this. During his earlier years, Ben was overwhelmed by this transformation and produced an eclipse of 14 Necrophrygian children. Since leaving Earth, the offspring's excessive feeding on Earth's sun made the plumbers step in and relocate these adolescents to their native home world, where Ben has taken the responsibility to check in routinely. Although
Oh, his kids!
late or missing
I'm
these gatherings
dumb!
completely, much to the offspring's disliking. Hence why I am here instead of on Snelly. This is a rare occurrence where all the siblings in an eclipse survive, as on average, one nest will produce up to 12 hatchlings, but of that 12, less than half will make it to maturity, due to poaching, as well as the predator of the polar storms, the Psycholiatrics.
Right, that big, ugly, moth-like thing. Crud, I hope Ben's kids are still alive. At least in canon.
Psycholiatrics are large quadruped Vespa with a body length of about 13 feet and a dual wingspan of roughly 17 feet. Also equipped with psychrophilic glands, they possess many of the same abilities as the Necrophrygians. The only notable difference in ability they possess is their most dangerous, being their hypnotic gust. This ability is a combination of a rare psychedelic pheromone they secrete, combined with a reflective scale pattern on their wings. The combination of these two overload
that
the
is
brain's mesolimbic
a crazy
dopamine
cool power,
system,
not gonna lie.
the reward center of the brain, and put the prey into a hypnotic state. They use this ability as their main form of hunting, having the prey willingly surrender themselves to the Psycholiopteran. Over the years, Necrophrygians became wise to this hungry hypno, and now rarely populate the surface, making the Psycholiopteran's main food source exclusively fresh hatchlings. Due to the amount of time...
Oh my gosh, they eat the babies!
The Psycholiopteran will go years on end without eating. This starvation, combined with planetary poaching, has turned them into an endangered species. Fun fact, poachers use the pheromones and ground-up scales of the Psycholiopteran to make optical ingested drugs called trip drops. Psycholiopterans appear to be the apex predator of the planet, but it seems as though that fact will not stand the test of time.
What's going on? What's going on?
Traveling back down past the Phrygian caps, we find ourselves in the waters of the Doused Divide. A large oceanic ring surrounding the planet's core sits Goldilocks between two extremely different temperatures, making for a cold yet balanced ecosystem teeming with life. Salt-capped crab, cephala imps, cellofish, boyantula. All life in the Doused Divide seems to be composed exclusively of various forms of decapod and tetheta. The Doused Divide is an open ocean all the way down to its metallic floor, and on this floor we find the home of the Thermoscorians. Polypetal metallic shelled isopods varying in size, the Thermoscorians possess thermophilic glands throughout their body. Working similarly to the psychophilic glands of the Necrophrygian, these too provide oxygen and temperature regulation. The notable difference, however, is that these glands also control the metabolism, meaning that if they want to keep warm and breathing, they need to keep eating. Whether it be seafood or random metallic debris, most anything that passes a Thermoscorian's
So they need to
becomes
keep
lunch. You could say they have an iron stomach. Ha 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 ha. With temperature control, they're able to heat their metallic shells to a malleable state, allowing them to stretch and contort their forms into an array of shapes. They use this ability mainly to burrow into the ocean floor to rest. The Thermoscorians are a very active and competitive people. Racing and challenging each other, they are restless from the moment they rise to the moment they drop. Living in castes of 7 to 8, they typically spend their days playing and socializing.
So they're basically the
But
opposite
there
from
are
the
certain
Necrophosians.
individuals of each group tasked with work duty, hollowing structures for homes, fishing for the young, and working to melt the ice sky above them. These workers ensure the happiness and safety for their families. When reproducing, expecting Thermoscorians will lay a mound of eggs and burrow on top of it to keep them warm, melding their shells into the ground to ensure no loss of heat. Once the eggs hatch, the mother superheats its body, making it soft and malleable so that the hatchlings can then feed on it, fueling the spark for their own thermophilic glands. After a few weeks of feeding, the hatchlings will rocket out of the mother's carapace and be adopted into their previous caste. On average, one individual will birth about 4 hatchlings. Of those 4, nearly all make it to full maturity. There are no known predators of the Thermoscorians, but every now and then some will go missing. Most are thought to have sputtered out and just simply sank to the depths, while some believe they are kidnapped and consumed by Necrophosians.
Okay.
Please, do not harm me. Activating, Tetanron blast recoil.
Oh man, it's just another one of those Horus things.
With Ben's key code? So he's not coming again, is he?
Your father, unfortunately.
Oh man, are you seriously?
These are his kids.
Really?
I'll explain
Quiet down,
afterwards.
siblings. Let's hear him out.
Oh, you must be Glacier, Ben's most assertive offspring. That must make you Smoothie, Kenko, Ishiyama, Slurpee. I think that's Maxwell in the back.
Cut it out, brasshole! He may have given us those names, but he is not our dad.
I mean, genetically,
We call ourselves the Ice Pack.
well, your father also calls himself stupid names, so you have that in common.
Hey, that's not
He got kidnapped by his kids.
Would you be Maxwell's?
Beside that, the reason I'm actually here is because your father wants you to know he really cares about you and will visit you as soon as he can. He wanted me to bring you this special gift. This metal is Ouroboreum, a glistening ore infused with mana. This rainbow sheen stone can only be found in the Kingdom of Anywhere.
That was horrible!
Oh, well, your father assumed since it was such a rare material that it may have been considered a delicacy.
That's not how it works at all! If he really cared, he'd know that.
Yeah, that shit's fucking gross.
Hey, maybe he did send us a snack after all.
Oh no, they're gonna eat horse.
You know what? I am pretty hungry. Oh, really tonight. You're looking like a snack. You're looking tasty.
Horse, get out of there.
Well, I should really get going.
No! Why don't you stay for dinner?
I'm an android. I don't eat, so there's no use for feasting time, you guys. Please don't.
R.I.P. Horace! You will be missed!
Crazy how many of these things we go through. Horus must be made of a pretty cheap material, huh?
The bioartificial squids we grow cost about 23,000 pounds of Taden. Printing them drains the plumbers a significant amount of our budget.
Oh.
Oh?
Well, I kinda left the horse printer on overnight to screw with Blukich and Dreba. Wouldn't it be funny if they walked into over 200 good evenings being shouted at them?
Good evening. Good evening.
This sounds like something Ben would do.
It's kind of funny, right?
You printed 200 extra Horus droids just for a prank?
I didn't know they were expensive. They break all the time. Only reason we're bringing this one back is because its video card kept recording after it lost signal. Why would someone deactivate a Horus if they're just going to break it? It might be a solid lead on Sascare. Hey, you think my Omnitrix could read it?
You are changing the subject. What are you going to do when Magister Patellidae finds out?
He's not gonna find out. I'm sure we'll think of something to do with the spares. And even if we don't, who cares? What's a few extra Horus droids lying around gonna do? They're harmless, right?
Bam, bam, bam! I wish I purchased one! But that was it. For those that don't know, Ben ended in the early season of Alien Force, Ben ended up basically transforming only into Big Chill. And he basically ate iron and metal to build a nest. And that nest was for his babies. Ben basically had babies. Canonically, in canon, Ben had babies. Let that sink in. I'm laughing because it's still funny to this day. But I will say that he at least with to think about his kids. Can't say that about any shonen dad, now can't you? He's canonically speaking. He's thinking about them. Though in canon, I do want to know if they're still alive. Ben never talks about them a lot, and Ben never talks about his babies a lot in the story, or at least from the original series up to Omniverse. So we never really, or at least Alien Force up to Omniverse. So we don't really know if he misses them or not. But who's to say? Anyways, I do hope you all enjoy. Be sure to leave a like, add to your favorites. Want to see more Scorch Time videos from this channel, subscribe. I make videos weekly or daily depending on my schedule. Have any requests for reactions whatsoever, leave a link to that video down below. Make sure it's something I'd be interested in and I will definitely react to it. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers, so help me reach that goal and you will get a special video from yours truly. With that being said, hope you all enjoy. Stay tuned for more videos and remember, many hearts never apart. So then my Blazing Knights, Blazeix, blazing out! Until next time, take care.